Ju ki jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju ki jai. Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashata Shishimar Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja Śrīla Gurudev ki jai. Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashata Shishimar Bhaktivedānta Vaman Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai. Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashata Shishimar Bhaktivedānta Swami Mahārāja Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashata Shishimar Bhakti Prajñāna Keśava Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai. Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupara Shatarashata Shishimar Bhaktivedānta Saraswati Gosvāmī Prabhupada ki jai. Nitya Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Śrīla Gaura Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Nitya Pravishta Śrīla Saccidānanda Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur ki jai. Jai Śrīla Saptam Gosvāmī Bhakti Bhagirati Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur ki jai. Jai Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Rupa Anugaurya Guru Varga ki jai. Jai Śrīla Baladev Vijabhushan Prabhu ki jai. Śrīla Vishwanath Chakravarti Ṭhākur ki jai. Shri Narottam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu Trai ki jai. Śrīla Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Par ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jeev Gopal Bhattadasa Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Śrīla Haridas Ṭhākur ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Kshetra Mandala Gaura Mandala Braja Mandala Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Sarva Abhishta Pradatta Giriraj Maharaj ki jai. Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda ki jai. Shri Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai. Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai. Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai. Shri Purnamasi Yogamaya ki jai. Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Jai. All the periodicals of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada and all of Śrīla Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada's followers ki jai. Jai. Rays of the Harmonist magazine ki jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranams. Champak Mataji, Archana Didi, Pradyumna Prabhu. Who else is there? Oh, I see a bunch of people on YouTube and Facebook, but there aren't any comments, so I don't know who you are, but pranams to all of you. All right, so just a little disclaimer. I every now and then I do this. I just have to because I had a very late night last night, so I'm a little bit spaced out right now. And also I have to we're about to start this new program, the Bhaktivinoda Giti Dhara program, in just a couple of days. And I have a lot to do to prepare for that. And so this is an 8th Iṣṭa-goṣṭhī. If anybody has anything to share anytime, please, don't hesitate to just open up your mic and share whatever is on your mind. But also, if there isn't much of an 8th Iṣṭa-goṣṭhī and we just read through the article, I also don't have a problem with that. So either way is fine. Usually I really like people to get even more involved and like there to be a lot more discussion. And today I'm happy either way. So, all right, I'm going, so maybe we should, well, I'll just do a very short Mangala Charan and then we can begin. Ajnanatirandhasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Guruve namaha. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. Oh, and we're reading an article by Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Keśava Gosvāmī, so I'll sing his pranam mantra. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Acharya Singharupine Shri Śrīmad Bhakti Prajñāna Keśava iti namine. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedānta Saraswati iti namine. Namo Bhaktivinodaya Saccidānanda Namane Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanugavarayate Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Bhajashri Vrindai Tulsidevai Priyai Keśavascha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatai Namo Namaha Bhajashri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams, dear devotees. Haribol, Ashray Prabhu, and Nri Hari Prabhu, and Pavatarani Mataji, and Manjari Didi. And now some more people joined on YouTube and Facebook. I see Raj Bhuvan Yadav ji, Vidya Lalasa Didi, Gargaraj ji, and a few others. 6 devotees. Dandavat Pranams. All right, so a bunch more people just joined, and so I just mentioned before that I'm a little bit spacey today because I didn't sleep much last night, and yeah, this article is very short, and if there's a lot of discussion, I'm happy, and if there isn't so much discussion, it's also not a problem. I have to prepare for this Bhaktivinoda Kiti Dhara program, which is starting in 2 days, and so I'm a bit yeah, my mind's somewhere else right now, but we're going to read this article by Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Keśava Gosvāmī. It was published, this is his introduction to, it's an excerpt from his introduction to the Jaiva-dharma, and it was also published in this issue of Raise the Harmonist, published in 2014. So we are going to read that. We also read another article by Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Keśava Gosvāmī about Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur, our last time that, yeah, I think it was the last time we read his article. But, all right. Oh, and actually, one thing I'd like to do beforehand. Yesterday, I think probably all of you have heard that Sri Gopal Krishna Mahārāja, he left this world, and so I just in his honor, I just wanted to do a very quick thing. There's one interview, I watched it a long time ago. I haven't seen it for a while, but there's an interview that he did, I think it was in the 80s with, I think it's pretty famous, but it's half an hour long, but I just want to watch just like 3 minutes of it because it's so good. The way he pushes back. Yeah, I just thought that was, yeah, and then we can start the article. Yeah, if you don't mind. It's so good, I don't want to, really want to share it. Okay, let me just open it up. Where is it? I had it open here. We'll just watch 3 minutes from it. Where is it? I thought I had opened it up. Here, the link's right there. Okay, it's very short.
Here is a man, though, who is not a Muni. He's Gopal Krishna Gosvāmī, and he is the head of the Hare Krishnas in Canada and in India. Now, Gopal, what do I call you? Gopal?
Yeah, that's okay. Gopal Krishna Swami or Gopal Krishna Mahārāja.
Are you an honest-to-goodness guru?
Yes, a guru means one who gives spiritual guidance. So that is my business, to give spiritual guidance to society.
I see. And you really, all the Krishnas are really cop-outs. You take no part in the practical life of the country. You merely go around dressed in your saffron robes, chanting and selling things.
I would like to say that the people like you are cop-outs. In other words, the natural position of the living entity is to serve God. So when one doesn't serve God, he becomes a cop-out.
I see.
In fact, I think we're looking at things the other way around.
I thought that Krishna consciousness came from India. Are all your followers in Western Canada non-Indians?
I would say 99%.
But any time I meet them now,
I would say 99% of our congregation around the world outside India consists of people from that part of the world.
I kind of like you. You're a nice guy. You're only 37. But every time I meet any of your followers, such as the two you have with you this morning, They all seem rather glazed and brainwashed. Is Hare Krishna a method of brainwashing people into abject serfdom and slavery?
Actually, I'd like to correct your understanding. We don't brainwash people. In fact, from the very birth, the media and the educational system, the society, the relatives, brainwash the living entity to forget his relationship with God.
True.
So what we are doing actually is just helping undo that brainwashing by presenting the real truth to the individual.
All right, if I become a Hare Krishna, I must accept Krishna consciousness, I must understand it, I must give up all material things, I must take a vow of poverty, and I must stand around in the streets chanting Hare Hare Hare.
You don't have to stand on the streets.
But you do it all the time.
Not all of
you
us.
You block the traffic in the streets.
We
you
don't
behave abominably on...
Anyways, I'm going to... 1 second. Anyways, this goes on for like half an hour. It's so good. If anybody wants to watch the whole thing, you can. I just wanted to show a clip from it. But wait 1 second. Let me just close this. Where is it? I lost the window.
They requested donation, but we give
there it is. Sorry. Anyways, it's the whole thing is just brilliant. Anyways, I just wanted to share that in his honor. I heard he just opened up a temple just like a few days ago, and he was very active, and he left like a warrior on the battlefield. So anyhow, okay, so we will continue on now with our program for today. Oh yeah, I can post the link, Ashray Prabhu. Yes, I'll do that afterwards. Okay, so now we are moving on to this article by an excerpt from the introduction to Jaiva-dharma by Śrīmad Bhakti Keśava Gosvāmī. The life, precepts, and contribution of Saccidānanda Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur. When it comes to discussing the life of Mahapurushas, of great self-realized personalities who are transcendental to mortal existence, it would be a mistake to consider their birth, lifespan, and death to be similar to that of mere mortals, because Mahapurushas are beyond birth and death. They are situated in eternal existence, and their coming and going from this world is strictly a matter of their own appearance and disappearance. Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur appeared on Sunday, September 2nd, 1838. As I mentioned before, if anybody wants to jump in at any moment, feel free to just, you don't need to raise your hand or anything, you just jump in, right? Okay, so Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur appeared on Sunday, September 2nd, 1838, and thus illuminated the sky of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. He took birth in a high-class family in a village named Viranagar, also known as Ulagram or Ula, which is located within the Nadia district of West Bengal, not far from Sridham Mayapur, the appearance place of Sri Gauranga. Yeah, I've been there before. I think it only takes like a couple hours to get there. He disappeared from this world on June 23rd, 1914, in the city of Kolkata. At that time, he entered the midday pastimes of Shishi Gandharvika Giridhari, who are the supreme objects of worship for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. In his brief lifespan of 76 years, he instructed the world by personally carrying out the duties of the 4 ashrams, the 4 stages of spiritual life: brahmacharya, celibate student life; grihastha, religious householder life; vanaprastha, withdrawal from worldly duties; and sannyas, formal renunciation. He first underwent brahmacharya and obtained various elevated instructions. After that, he entered grihastha life and set an ideal example of how to maintain family members through honest and noble means. All householders should follow this example. During his grihastha life, Śrīla Bhaktivinoda traveled all over India as a highly placed officer in the Administration and Justice Department of the British Government of India. By his exacting discrimination and expert administrative skills, this great personality managed to regulate and bring to order even those places that were infamous as lawless states. In the midst of family duties, he astonished all his contemporaries by the religious ideal he displayed. Although engaged in pressing responsibilities, yeah, and like very present, wasn't he the district magistrate? Was of Orissa? And he'd sometimes he'd have two jobs at one time, and he was we can't even imagine how busy he was just with his how pressing his responsibilities were. But even
and to
engaged
go on
in all
horseback to do his job as a judge. I mean, how many judges have we heard of who are going to actually, well, I guess in the US there's the circuit court, so I guess there literally were people who used to actually ride the circuit, but that anyway, most of us haven't experienced that in our lifetimes.
Wow. So even in the middle of all that, this great personality managed to regulate and so even engaged in all those pressing responsibilities, he wrote many books in different languages. We have recorded the dates of composition in our list of his books. If the reader studies this, he can clearly deduce Bhaktivinoda's incredible creative power. Disregarding the opinion of those who might have had a prejudice about language, Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur has broadcast the transcendental instructions of Śrīmad Mahaprabhu in many different languages. Yeah, I know actually, I mean, back during that time and the time before that also, it was actually controversial to write about these transcendental subject matters in other languages, which, people would say are impure languages. And so everything was in Sanskrit. You can even see during the Goswami's time, like most all the books, well, no, I guess there's Chaitanya Bhagavat, but even Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, I heard there's a whole controversy because he was writing Mahaprabhu's pastimes in Bengali, and they said, no, these things should, so, but disregarding that, he has written approximately 100 books in Sanskrit, Bengali, Oriya, Hindi, Urdu, and English. The names of some of the more important of these works have been given below, along with their dates of publication. And once again, I'm going to just turn on the video panel because I can't see anybody right now. Oh, wow, a bunch of people joined. Haribol Sarveshwari Didi and Rukmini Didi. Haribol. Okay, and Manjulali Didi. Haribol. Shubhananda Prabhu. Okay. Oh, and Śrīla Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, I just looked it up. He appeared, I think it was 1874. I think that is the date. Am I correct, Rukmini Didi? 1874? I think so. Yeah. So,
yes, that's why it's the sesquicentennial.
Okay. Oh yeah, of course. All right. So, I just like to keep that in mind because then we can see how old he was when all these books came out. So
I like to keep that in mind because I like saying the word sesquicentennial.
I can't even say that. Sesquicentennial. Can't even say it. Okay, so he was. So there's the Vedānta Adhikaran. What is it? Vedānta Adhikaran Mala. That's 1872. The Datta Kaustuvam, 1874. These are all the books that he wrote in Sanskrit. Datta Vangsha Mala, 1876. I just saw this book on the website BhaktiVinodaInstitute.com. This book has been translated there. There's the Bodha Vijaya Kavyam, 1878. There's Sri Krishna Samhita, 1880. I didn't know that was written in Sanskrit. Huh. That's a famous book, very famous book. And I guess that means that Śrīla Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Ṭhākur Prabhupada, or little Bimal Prasad, was 6 years old, right? Yeah, when that book came out. And then there's a Sanmodan Bhashya of Shikshashtakam. That's 1886. The Dashopanishad Churnika, 1886. the Bhavavali commentary, 1886. Shri Chaitanya Charanamrita Bhashya, it's a commentary on Shri Chaitanya Upanishad, 1887. Shri Amnai Sutram, 1890. Tattva Viveka, or Shri Saccidānanda, that was 1893. Yeah, that's a famous book. I mean, I don't know about it so much, but I've heard it quoted. Tattva Sutram, 1894. Actually, I think there are some verses on Sharanagati that we quote. That's from this book, if I remember correctly. There's Vedānta Diditi, commentary on Sri Ishupanishad, 1894. There's the Sri Gauranga Lila Smarana Mangala Stotram, 1896. This stotram is so beautiful. I forgot how many verses it is. It's a lot of verses. Maybe it's like 60, 70, maybe a lot more. I don't know. I have to, but it goes, there's a verse for every, how many verses?
108.
Oh, 108 verses. Wow. Okay. And so there's a verse for every Leela of Mahaprabhu. It goes, I remember one time many years ago, we had a program where we'd go to the Ganga and we would recite the entire Gauranga Lila Smaran Mangala Stotram every day.
And it was written on the year Prabhupada took birth, appearance.
Oh, yes, 1896. Wow.
Yes. It's amazing. And if you follow it, it's every 2 years he came out with a book, and then all of a sudden he came out like 4 of them or something like that. It's like unbelievable.
Yeah, and he came out with a very famous book, Sri Chaitanya. What is it? We'll get there. Sri Chaitanya and his precepts, right? Okay, so now, yeah, what was the other one?
No, you mentioned Krishna
Samhita.
Samhita, or what one was in Sanskrit that I thought too that I didn't know it was in Sanskrit.
Yeah, Krishna Samhita is in Sanskrit, 1880.
Yeah. Okay.
Then Sri Bhagavad Dhammamritam commentary, 1898. Then the Sri Bhagavat Arka Marichimala, 1901. That where GBP is working on that book that will eventually be published. My Gurudev published that in Hindi. Then Sri Bhajan Rahasya, 1902. I have a PDF of the very first edition of Bhajan Rahasya. The Swa Niyam Dwadashakam, 1907. The Brahmam Sutra Bhashya commentary, and the Shiksha Dashamulam. Oh, Dashamula, cool. That was, I guess, one of the later things. It doesn't give a year, and etc. Those aren't all the books. Those are just some of the books. It's 20 books written in Sanskrit. Okay, now we come to Bengali prose. There's the Garbha Stotra translation. Sri Sajantoshini, that's the monthly magazine, started in 1881 and it continued on for Śrīla Saraswati Ṭhākur Prabhupada. He continued it on for a long time. Also, the Harmonist, the English magazine, the Harmonist, was also called Sajantoshini. Then there's the Rasika Ranjana commentary on Bhagavad Gita. My Gurudev published that in Hindi. It's a small commentary. Yeah. And then there's the Sri Chaitanya Shikshamritam, 1886. The Prem Pradipa, 1886. Then he published the Sri Vishnu Sahasranam, also in 1886. Then Vaishnav Siddhantamala, 1888. We've published that book in English and Hindi. Siddhanta Darpanam, a Bengali translation, 1890. Vidvad Ranjan, commentary on Bhagavad Gita, that was 1891. Then 1892, there's Shri Harinam, 1892, Shri Nam, all these books are in 1892. Shri Nam Tattva, Shri Nam Mahima, Shri Nam Prachar, and Shriman Mahaprabhur Shiksha. Wow, that 1892 is a big year for publications. The Tattva Muktavali, or Mayavad Shatadushani, translated and published 1894. Is Mayavad Shatadushani, is that Madhvacharya or Ramanujacharya? Madhvacharya? I think Madhvacharya. I don't know. All right. Then there's Amrita Pravaha Bhashya commentary on Chaitanya Charitamrita, 1895. And Srila Prabhupada made this available also, or he quoted it a lot at least. I think it's the whole thing almost, right? In Srila Prabhupada's Chaitanya Charitamrita. Then the Sri Ramanuja Upadesh, 1896. The Jaiva-dharma, 1896. Wait, Srila Prabhupada appeared on what year again? 1896. Okay. Then the Prakashini Vritti, commentary on Brahma Samhita, 1897. The Piyush Varshini Vritti, commentary on Upadeshamrita. We published that in English also. And Prakashini Vritti, that one. Then Sri Bhajanamritam, translation and commentary, 1899. And Sri Sankalpa Kalpadruma, Bengali translation, 1901. That's interesting. I didn't realize Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur translated Sankalpa Kalpadruma. Very interesting. Okay, so those were the books that he wrote in Bengali prose. Just some of them. Actually, when I went to the Bhaktivedānta Research Center, there is this massive book handwritten by Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur. It had a very unique name. It was, forgot what the name was, but it was a big book, all handwritten, never before published. But the pages were are stuck together. And it's stuck together so much that you can't even separate them. Like if you separate them, it will just disintegrate. And so they're in a big dilemma, like what to do. Now, a whole handwritten book by Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur that's never been published. It had like a very, I think Ras was in the title. It had like a very Rasic title. But yeah, it's a really unfortunate situation that can't access it, even though they have it in their hands. Okay, these are some of the books that he wrote in Bengali verse. There's Harikatha, Topics of Lord Hari, that's 1850. Shumba Nishumba Yuddha, 1851. Vijanagram, 1863. This Vijanagram, Srivas is, I think he might have finished it by now, but he's been translating all these Vijanagram, and also he has a YouTube channel and he's been singing them and reading the translation and explaining them a bit also. So if anybody wants to see Vijanagram, go to bigdrum.us. It is very interesting. Yeah. Then Sannyasi, 1863. Kalyana Kalpataru, 1881. And this Kalyana Kalpataru, that 1881, that means Śrīla Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada was, he appeared in 1874. So that means he was 7 years old. 7 years old when that came out. I have the first edition also. I have a PDF of the very first edition of Kalyana Kalpataru. This is before he got the title Bhaktivinoda from the Bhagnapada Goswamis. So all the songs in Kalyana Kalpataru, which are a lot of the songs that we sing all the time, they all ended differently. They all ended with Kedar instead of Bhaktivinoda or Vinod, Kedarnath. And actually, a lot of the words are different. And then I guess when Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur republished that book, he changed some of the words and he ended everything with Bhaktivinoda. So, okay, then there's Manashiksha, translation and commentary, 1886. Shri Krishna Vijay, 1887, published. Then the Shri Navadip Dham Mahatma, 1890. And Shri Navadip Dham Mahatma, we all have access to the Parikrama Kanda, but there's also the Praman Kanda, which I don't think as many devotees have seen. I haven't read it yet either. But I've heard people explain parts of the Praman Kanda, and it's very interesting. Yeah. Then there's Sharnagati. These are all the books so Kalyana Kalpataru is 1881, and then Sharnagati is 1893. These are all the books that we will be going through in our in the coming months. We're starting off with Sharnagati, then we'll do Gitavali, Gitamala, and Shok Shatan. This is all published in 1893. Then there's the Shri Navadip Bhav Taranga, 1899. Shri Harinam Chintamani, 1900. And then Shri Prem Vivarta, published in 1906, etc. There are other books also. Then in Urdu, he wrote the Valide Registry. I have no idea what that is, but sounds very interesting. It's 1866, etc. So he wrote books in Urdu. Now, here are the books that he wrote in English. How do you say that? Is that Poriad? Poriad. 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 That is 1857 to 1858. And this book is available online. I saw it once. It's very interesting. It's been a while since I looked at it. Anyways, we can look at it later.
So distributing cookies free.
Sorry.
You give me away cookies.
Okay. So then Mat of Orissa, 1860. R. Once, 1863. Speech on Gautama, 1866. Okay, and here it is. Oh, no, that's not it. The Bhagavat, its philosophy, its ethics, and its theology. And you can find this book in all the different Gaudiya mats. They always sell this little booklet. The Bhagavat, its philosophy, its ethics, and its theology. Reflections, 1871. And there's that famous poem. We've heard the last verse quoted over and over again, but it's a whole poem to Śrīla Haridas Ṭhākur. But the last verse is, he reasons ill who say that Vaishnavas died to live when thou art still living in sound. You want to look at the poem? Because I haven't seen it in a long time. We have time. This is a very short article. Let's look that up. Where is my... Yeah, let's just... Ṭhākur Haridas Bhaktivinoda English poem. Let's see if that comes up. Here. Is it here? Yeah, here. Stanzas on the Samaj of Haridas on the seashore of Puri. Let's read this poem, okay. O born of Muslim parents, Haridas, and trained in youth in Muslim creed, thy noble heart to Vaishnav truth did pass. Thy holy acts, thy candor plead. What does this say? It says, Haridas was the son. I guess it has this written on this is on the Samadhi, right? I think it used to be written. It's not there anymore. It says, Haridas was the son of a Qazi who lived within a few miles from Delhi. While yet a boy, the religious sentiment received a very great development in him, and he could understand that the pure spiritual love was the only absolute religion of man. He was very much averse to cruelty to animals and turned out a Vaishnav in preference to the faith of his race. The Qazis and others met together and ordered him to be beaten very hard in the bazaars of Delhi. We read it in the Chaitanya Bhagavat that when he was being cruelly beaten, he was praying God that his enemies might be pardoned. It is said that Haridas, after leaving Delhi, came to Bengal and lived for some time in Shantipur, on the banks of the Ganges. The great Chaitanya Prabhu, I love how they spell it, Prabhu, of Nadia, was born long after Haridas came to Shantipur. But when Chaitanya Prabhu came to age and began to preach the highest truth of Vaishnavism, Haridas very gladly enlisted himself as a follower of the Prabhu. In a short time, Haridas accompanied him to Puri of Jagannath, and there lived till the time of his death. His remains were interred by Sri Chaitanya Dev on the seashore. A large portion of the beach at Puri goes by the name Chakra Tirtha, in which the Samaj or tomb of Haridas is found. Popularly, the place is considered sacred. So that's what's written along with this poem, I guess, on the Samadhi. Okay. So, is there a soul that cannot learn from thee that man must give up sect for God? that thoughts of race and sect can never agree with what they call religion broad. The love of God and brother soul alone, bereft thyself of early friends, thy softer feelings oft to kindness prone, led on thyself for higher ends. I weep to read that qazis and their men oft persecuted thee, alas. What does oft mean? Does it mean oft?
It's an archaic way of saying often.
Oh, often. Okay, oft. So I weep to read that qazis and their men oft persecuted thee, alas. But thou didst nobly pray for the wicked men then, for thou wert Vaishnav Haridas. And God is boundless grace to thee, O man, united thee to one who came to save the fallen souls from evil's plan of taking human souls to shame. And he it was who led you all that came for life eternal, holy, pure, and gave you rest in heaven's enduring name and sacred blessings ever sure. Thy body rests upon the sacred sands of Swagadwar near the sea. Oh, hundreds come to thee from distant lands to enjoy a holy, thrilling glee. The waters roar, the waters roar and storming winds assail thy ears in vain, Vaishnav soul. The charms of Vrindavan thy heart regale. Unknown the wheel of time doth roll. And now here's the famous verse. He reasons ill who tells that Vaishnavs die when thou art living still and sound. The Vaishnavs die to live and living try to spread a holy life around. Oh, lots of times people write a holy name around to spread a holy life around. Interesting. Now let the candid man that seeks to live follow thy way on shores of time. Then posterity sure to him will give, like one song in simple rhyme. All right, so that was Ṭhākur Haridas, written in 1971. Now that was before Śrīla Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada appeared. Then the Temple of Jagannath at Puri, 1871. The Monasteries of Puri, 1871. The Personality of Godhead, 1871. A Beacon of Light, 1871. And then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his life and precepts, written on the appearance year of Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Swami Prabhupada, 1896, etc. And yeah, etc. Like there is no mention of the alas for those who spend their days in festive mirth and joy, dazzling deadly liquid forms their hearts forever employ. So yeah, there's other things that he wrote in English as well. So I lost the video again. 1 second, let me just open that. Okay, now I can see you again. So when one sees this list, one can easily infer that the author was a vastly learned scholar of many different languages. I think it necessary at this point to shed some light on a special feature of the author's life. Although he was a preeminent scholar of Western thought, he was completely free from Western influences. Western educators say, "Don't follow me, follow my words." In other words, don't do as I do as I say. The life of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur refutes this principle, for he personally applied and demonstrated all the instructions of his books in his own life. Therefore, his instructions and manner of bhajan are known as Bhaktivinoda Dhara, the lion of Bhaktivinod. The lion of Bhaktivinod, Bhaktivinoda Dhara. Because his instructions and manner of bhajan they're both known as Bhaktivinoda Dhara. There's not a single instruction in his books that he did not personally follow. Therefore, there is no disparity between his writings and his life, between his actions and his words. They are one in all respects. It is natural for readers to be curious to learn about a great personality who possesses such extraordinary character. Modern readers, in particular, who seek to know about any subject, cannot have faith in an author's writings without being acquainted with him. After retiring from his government responsibilities, Śrīla Bhaktivinoda adopted the stage of vanaprastha and intensified his spiritual practice. At that time, he established an ashram at Surabhi Kunj in Godrumadweep, one of the 9 districts of Navadweep. Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur remains there and performed bhajan for a considerable time. Later, he accepted the life of an ascetic and stayed at Swananda Sukara Kunj, which was nearby. While residing there, he established the appearance place of Sri Chaitanya Dev and many other places of Gaur Lila. In this, he followed the example of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his followers, the 6 Goswamis, who had discovered the birthplace and other pastime places of Sri Krishna. Śrīla Ṭhākur Bhaktivinoda had not appeared in this world. If Śrīla Ṭhākur Bhaktivinoda had not appeared in this world, the pastime places and instructions of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu would have disappeared from the world. Yeah, my God, no Navadvip Parikrama. I mean, none of us would be here either. We'd all be, it's all Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur, but yeah, also no Navadvip Parikrama, none of the places that we go to on Navadvip Parikrama, we wouldn't know about it. The entire world of Gaudiya Vaishnavas will therefore remain indebted to him forever. It is for this reason that he has been awarded the highest honor in the Vaishnav community by being addressed as the 7th Goswami. Yeah, there isn't any single person after the 6 Goswamis who had received that title like that. He is the 7th Goswami. And why? What were the things that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed the Goswamis to do? There are 4 things. I'm not going to get the order right, but I just to Lupta Tirtha, what do you say, Udharan? I forgot the Sanskrit terms for them, but to find and excavate all the different holy places in Vrajmandal. So they were all, all the different holy places that we go to, they were all found by the 6 Goswamis. Then established by the 6, or whatever, like they rediscovered, or whatever the word is. Then to establish deity worship, right? And we see each one of the 6 Goswamis. There's Madan Mohan, Govinda Dev, Gopinath, like that, like all the different Radha Damodar, like that. Then to write the scriptures on bhakti, right? To write all of Mahaprabhu's instructions, everything that Mahaprabhu wanted to give, he had them be the ones to preserve it and make it available to the public. All of his teachings were given through the Goswamis. Then establishing proper Vaishnav conduct, proper Vaishnav sadachar, like Śrīla Sanatana Goswami especially, and Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and Hari Bhakti Vilas, and looks like that. So Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur, even though it was 6 Goswamis who did all those things, but Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur himself, he did all those things. He established the holy places. He wrote all the different devotional granthas. He established the worship of Gaur Gadadhar also. And all these different things that the Goswamis did established Vaishnav Sadachar, Śrīla Bhaktivinoda. So that's why Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur is the most fit recipient for that title, the 7th Goswami. So, yes, it is for this reason that he has been awarded the highest honor in the Vaishnav community by being addressed as the 7th Goswami. This Mahapurush instructed the world both through the ideal example of his personal life and by writing books in many different languages. In addition, there is yet another very unique gift that he bestowed, and it would be a display of ingratitude on my part if I neglected to mention this. Śrīla Ṭhākur Bhaktivinoda brought a great personality into this world, who was the commander-in-chief in propagating the Dharma revealed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This great personality is my beloved Gurudev, and he is renowned throughout the world as Jagat Guru, Om Vishnupad, Paramahansa Kula Chudamani, Ashtotara Shatashi Śrīmad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Ṭhākur. It was an incomparable and unprecedented accomplishment on the part of Śrīmad Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur to bring this Mahapurush into the world. The Vaishnav community honors Śrīla Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Ṭhākur with the shorter title of Śrīla Prabhupada. And hereafter, I will also refer to this supremely liberated Mahapurush as Śrīla Prabhupada. And Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Keśava Gosvāmī, she wrote a similar thing in the previous article that we read. Maybe at the end we could read that as well. I keep on losing the video, so sorry if anybody raised their hand or wanted to mention anything and I missed it. It just keeps on disappearing for some reason. There. Okay, got it back up. Śrīla Prabhupada, so I'll refer to the supremely liberated Mahapurush as Śrīla Prabhupada. Śrīla Prabhupada appeared as Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur's son and successor. Throughout the world, he raised the brilliant banner of Sri Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava Dharma, which was practiced and propagated by Sriman Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Dev. In so doing, he brought tremendous welfare and elevation to the religious domain. Even Western and Far Eastern countries like America, England, Germany, France, Sweden, Switzerland, and Burma were not deprived of his mercy. He established 64 Gaudiya Math preaching centers in India and around the world. And from these, he propagated the teachings of Sri Chaitanya. He also circulated all the books of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur, and thus established his incomparable fame throughout the world. By the influence of time and the onslaught of the age of Kali, various types of corruption and false doctrines had infiltrated Gaudiya Vaishnava Dharma. As a result, 13 distorted sects, Upasampradayas, had emerged, and they are named in this shloka. Aul Baul Karta Bhaja Neda Darvesh Sai Sahajya Saki Beki Smarta Jati Goshai Ati Bari Chudadhari Goranga Nagari Tota Kohe E Teraho Shanga Nahi Kori. E Teraho. I don't know what that word is. Shanga Nahi Kori. Tota says that he will not associate with the 13 Upasampradayas. That's Aul, Baul, Karta Bhaja, Neda, Darvesh, Sai, Sahajya, Saki Beki, Smarta, Jati Goshai, Ati Badi, Chudadhari, and Goranga Nagari. Śrīla Prabhupada significantly curbs the mischievous activities of these Upasampradayas through his preaching and by publishing the books of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur. So this is an excerpt from the English rendering of Śrīmad Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja's Hindi translation of Jaiva-dharma, published by Gaudiya Vedānta Publications. And the contents were slightly reordered for the Rays of the Harmonist, number 26, 2014 Bhaktivinoda Edition. Right here, this book here. So, yeah, Jai, Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur ki Jai. Jai. So, I remember reading, my Gurudev said that Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Keśava Gosvāmī Mahārāja, at that time when this Tota Ram Babaji, I think his name was, there were 13 Upasampradayas, but then in time there were even more Upasampradayas. I think Parama Gurudev counted like 30 or something like that, or 39. I forgot what the exact number was. But and so we shouldn't think that there are so many more also, so many Upasampradayas, and it will continue in the future. This is the age of Kali. This is what happens. But Śrīla Prabhupada significantly curbs these mischievous activities of these Upasampradayas through his preaching and by publishing the books of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur. All right. If anybody has, I'm just noticing there's a bunch of comments. Oh, sorry, I haven't been seeing all the comments that you've been writing. Excavated and reestablished. Okay. Rukmini Didi says regarding this Saptan Goswami, and said in the Goswami's time, the tirthas of Rajmandal were hidden, and in Bhaktivinoda Thakur's time, it was Gaudamandal, specifically Mayapur, that was hidden. Yes. And without Bhaktivinoda Thakur, yes. Oh, and I'm just saying what Rukmini Didi said. Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote the first Bengali poem in unrhymed verse, a poem on the devastation of Ula by the seas. Right? Yeah. Isn't there when Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur returned home or something like that, that all his family members were like most of his family members were they all passed, like they all died from how do you call it? Cholera? How do you call it? Cholera. I think so, yeah.
Cholera.
Yeah, cholera. Then people thought Michael Madhusudan Datta made this foundational innovation in Bengali literature, but a scholar found that Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur, or at that time Kedarnath Datta, had been overlooked. Wow, very interesting. So if anybody has anything on any of these points they'd like to mention, you can mention now. Otherwise, I just want to read a very similar thing that we read from Param Gurudev's article about his Nadia Prakash and then Sadantavani Prakash. Yeah, we can, but if anybody has anything on what we read just now, please, this is your chance.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, dear Vaishnavas. Just a question for this beautiful assembly. We heard about how powerfully Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur, I don't know, you could say fought against or kept at bay these Apasampradayas. And you mentioned how there's so many more and there will always continue to be. So when there's a very powerful, pure Mahabhagavat Acharya present due to their Harikatha and preaching, all of these misconceptions and different kinds of conflicts and debates between Vaishnav branches and things like that, it really is harmonized and so much abated, if that's the correct word. But when they are absent from our vision and not manifest in our world, all of these misconceptions and upper sampradayas, they increase and maybe more and new different ones come out. So my question to the Vaishnavas here, any thoughts on, in the meantime, before another great Acharya manifests who has the power to defeat and harmonize everything, like in the meantime, what can the devotees do to counteract the influence of these misconceptions and apasampradayas?
I have one little thing, just like one idea, and I want to hear what everybody else has to say as well. But well, Śrīla Bhaktivinoda, like we see how much effort Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur gave. Actually, most of our Guru Varga in our line, Śrīla Vishwanath Chakravarti Ṭhākur, Baladevi Vibhushan, but especially Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Śrīla Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, how much energy they put in to defeating all these misconceptions and apasampradayas through their writings. And so I think one thing that we can do, every one of us, we can help in this mission in their mission of destroying all these different apasampradayas by getting all these books that they've given us, that they've left for us, by promoting them, by coming together to read them together and publishing them and distributing them. And yeah, that's, otherwise, why did they spend so much time writing all these things if we're not going to use them? And that's one very sure way to please them immensely is what they put so much energy and time into doing. If we actually appreciate that and promote that, and imagine how much blessings they shower on us the more we were able to do that. Awesome. Does anybody else have anything to say on that topic? Yes, Sarveshwari Mataji, yes.
I think like Mahaprabhu instructs us to ourselves to chant the holy names and also in congregational. That's very powerful. That is very powerful. This is verse Nama is Chintamani. So it's a Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. We don't realize, but at least they try to follow everyone according capacity. Yes.
That is that's actually equally as important, or even more, that the way we destroy these upper sampradayas is by trying to follow as the best we can their instructions that they give. Like, yeah, the more we try to follow them, then there's if the community of devotees, they try to their utmost to follow these instructions of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda, to follow this dhara, Bhaktivinoda dhara, then it makes a place for other people to join and also follow, and it just expands and expands. So yeah, wonderful point. Thank you.
And prasadam.
Yes. Yes, that's the way to bring people in, to offer people. Yes.
So beautiful. And Rukmini, I like your comment, one word, but so powerful, prasadam, because it gives that sense of compassion and mercy, not just, I mean, when needed, of course, meeting the fight, so to speak, but yeah, so often extending an olive branch or through compassion and outreach, so much can be, friendship with compassion, so much can be accomplished.
Yes. Jai Ho.
It bypasses the argumentative mind.
Jai Ho, yes. It's a very, very sure way to win people over and attract them. And purify people. Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur wrote such beautiful kirtans on Mahaprasad also. Really, it's a very, very important part.
My small experience when arguing with people, so our acharyas have disproved various faulty conceptions with logic, but when personally arguing with people, I notice that their brain does a trick, and somehow they don't understand the logic. And in certain cases I've investigated, and there's actually deep emotional reasons why people cling on to arguments. So even if it's like defeated with logic, they won't even actually realize that it's defeated. So that's one of the reasons that I mentioned prasadam, because it bypasses all of this.
Yeah, and
but one thing we noticed. I'm sorry, just go ahead.
No, you speak. Please.
No, just that we noticed also that Harinam Sankirtan is so powerful that your false ego just goes out the window, because if we concentrate on that congregational chanting, what we do, I mean, there's no time to, anything really to stay in our mind. Materially speaking,
everything's in the holy name.
Everything is in the holy name. But as you read before, I totally, I like that point that you brought to begin with, and it's Bhaktisiddhanta says how he fought this Apasampradaya was by publishing and distributing Bhaktivinoda Thakur's wisdom, Vaishnava, and wisdom, and his everything, his knowledge, his conduct, everything comes through his writings, isn't it? I mean, it's how we, that's how we'll have this wonderful, looking forward to the songs and like that. So he's such a complete personality, it would be very difficult impossible to eulogize. But yeah, that question is heavy one, but is there that these old Apasidanta sampradayas are springing up, and they spring up and they continue to. But yeah, I'm sorry. Were you saying something? No. Okay.
Yes.
The Harinam Sankirtan gets rid of all differences and the sound vibration is so powerful, then people can understand the logic. So it goes, you can't just read the books, you have to chant. So the people, if they come in contact with the Harinam Sankirtan, then when they read the arguments, read the books, then their heart can change.
Yeah. One thing, Rukmini Didi, she mentions there's something maybe emotionally deep-rooted emotionally that makes people cling on to or hang on to their view, their point of view. And of course, it's our ego and that. But remember the story of Lord Chaitanya going to Udupi, and I think we lost. I don't know if they can hear.
Wait, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah. Do you remember that passage? When he defeated them, he converted them to his side, but then later on, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu leaves and they cling on to their view, their philosophy of action, pure, in a way avoiding, staying away from pure bhakti. So yeah, that would be a very complex thing, but we have to go on what the program established by our acharyas is that Harinam, by Prabhupada especially, there was Harinam and book distribution so that we can spread this wisdom. And Prasadam, of course, would make that's so important. When people Prabhupada just giving Prasadam, they're dolls, just giving Prasadam. If somebody asks them, what is this chanting? They say, oh, we got volumes and volumes of books, that Śrīla Prabhupada would, like Prabhupada would say. And we have volumes and volumes. So it all goes hand in hand. I think we just have to keep pushing on and thank you for having these forums and the readings and, connecting the Vaishnava world, Gaudiya Vaishnava world, thank you.
I'm not doing anything, but thank you, Prabhu. Time, and then after Ashray Prabhu. Yes, Manjari, what were you going to say?
Yeah, wonderful conversation. Something that comes to mind as we're discussing this is that the main audience may not be for those hardcore fanatics or believers who are fully convinced or very deeply emotionally attached for whatever reason, and but the fact of the matter is the majority of people are, you could say, tatashta, which is that there's an audience who are listening and may be convinced one way or the other. So that logic, and as we're discussing the Nam Sankirtan Prasadam, and most especially discussion of and distribution of these granthas which contain the arguments against them, it's the innocent public, so to speak, who are caught in the middle, who will be attracted to go one way or the other. So it's really for them that we make any efforts to explain or discuss anything, because the fact of the matter is there are disciples even of Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Swami Prabhupada or our Gurudev or other very bona fide gurus and their disciples, even decades-long practicing devotees, who do end up becoming attracted to these different lines and giving up Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur. It's shocking, but it happens. I could never imagine. And more of these groups are coming out of India, whereas before it was kind of limited and we just didn't even have to really think about it if you weren't in India. But now they're starting to do prachar and traveling, and sometimes devotees don't really know about a lot of the history or exactly what the lineage of these people are, and they'll host them at their home in America, or they'll host these sadhus from these other lineages who don't accept Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur, and they don't come out and say it either. They don't present it up front that they're against Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati and Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur. And so there are a lot of innocent public out there that are not aware. So I think making it more well known about what's going on in contemporary times as well. It just, a lot of devotees would really, I'm sure, appreciate knowing the subtleties in these different lineages and apasampradayas. And like, I didn't even really know, and I still don't know so much either. So I very much appreciate even this discussion, and in the future, whatever we can do to be educated and be of better service to help this preaching mission. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Aye.
Ashray Prabhu had his hand up for a long time, and then after Rukmini Didi, she has her hand up after that. Yes.
I was reflecting on your the Gaudiya Kirtan app, and how as I was examining the different features of it, there was one part that has all the different sanghas, and I didn't understand exactly what difference it makes when you press each button of the sangha. So I wanted to ask about that, what the thinking was, and what the purpose was of that. But what it caused me to reflect on was that there are such a variety of sanghas and sadhus and devotees that are in the sampradaya, in the devotional line. There's so much variety. So it's not like because we're feeling limited that we need to go outside and find something which is upper sampradaya. There's because I know for some time my son has been very sort of fixed in a good way, but he's starting to sort of look a little further afield because he's not feeling completely satisfied. So this is really like something that I want to share with him as well. Just the idea that you can be diverse, you can look further afield, but know that it's not just a free-for-all. It's not that anybody who claims to be a follower of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually is. And as you said, the acharyas have done such a lot of hard work to establish for us what is and what is not. And it's so important that we avail ourselves of that hard work and that information and share it and distribute it and double down on it and study it. And I just really thank you for this kind of call to I don't know, call to hear, call to arms, call to whatever is required.
Yes, thank you. And just very quickly, the reason in the Gaudiya Kirtan app why I have the different sanghas is because in each different group they'll have their own Jaidvani, their own temple program like that, and so it's just to make the app custom to different people. But yeah, that was a very nice point, Prabhu. Thank you. Rukmini Didi, yes.
Yes, I just wanted to acknowledge that, yes, it is actually very important to spread the teachings of our acharyas and how they have, I mean, this is why they spent so much time to go through the logic and explain what is wrong with these concepts. And so, yeah, I was being a little facetious when I just said prasadam because, generally that comes at the end of a long discussion. It's not the first thing. The first thing is to actually go through the Siddhanta. And so I remember an experience where, in the West, if we're not just dealing with devotees, but if we're just dealing with random people, many of them think that Advaita Vedanta is the predominant view, and that that is what dharma people think, and that someone who doesn't subscribe to it, it's because they're like sentimental or they don't actually know very much, etc., etc. And so I was in a class going through Vedanta Sutra, which was taught by Advaita Prabhu Edwin Bryant. So he's a professor, and he teaches sort of ecumenically, like he teaches all views. But he just mentioned the Ramanuja Bhashya, the introduction to the Ramanuja Bhashya of the Vedanta Sutra, and in the introduction, Ramanuja Acharya just basically defeats Advaita Vedanta, and he says, some very simple things like, okay, so if everything is Brahman, then how can Maya overcome Brahman? Then Maya must be a different thing than Brahman. And I was present in a class with some yogis, and this person was clearly, there was someone who clearly had never heard this before, and he was like, oh yeah, wow, that doesn't make any sense, does it? So yes, there are sort of, innocent people who are not aware of these arguments. So we definitely do have to carry forward the arguments of our acharyas, which they have fortunately brought down to us.
Yes. It also seems like our acharyas, they didn't really engage in debate so much, because they weren't really focused, because that's not the way you establish Siddhanta, is by debating it. Siddhanta is given by mercy, right? And so we don't see an example of our Guru Varga engaging in debate so much, but they did spend a lot of time establishing these points for all the innocent people, or, by people, for like compassion for all the people who might be led astray and like that, right?
Yeah, like even in Jaiva-dharma, every now and then, they're being asked a question and they say, well, we're not actually in the business of debates, but then they do answer the question.
I
And
was
then, of
just
course,
thinking of that passage, Didi. It was almost at the very beginning of Jaiva-dharma. That's true. That's not Vaishnava conduct. And really, it's not what they want to do, argue and fight. Yeah. I'm sorry.
And that's probably why Mahaprabhu demonstrated that he would establish a conclusion, and everyone would, and then he would, defeat the conclusion, and everyone would agree, and then he would reestablish the same conclusion. I mean, he was just showing that you can just debate endlessly, really.
Right. Yes. Logic is.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Jai Ho. All right, so that was very wonderful discussion. If anybody has anything else that they would like to mention on any of these topics, then
One little thing is like both our acharyas and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Ṭhākur, Śrīla Gurudev Nārāyaṇa Mahārāja would say he lamented that he said, I passed my time cutting jungles, and Śrīla, but externally, for people in general, that's some people perceive them that way. And Prabhupada too was like really warrior against, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi, and so those two things were like maybe even more prominent for them to combat than Sahajaism. But it all seems to have gone all, like everything, like go hand in hand. It's like we got a multi-attack by Maya, we got a multi, defense by the like Prasadam, knowledge, like that, but Harinam, and like that. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, they spent the majority of their time trying to make it possible for Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur's pure flow. He's the Bhakti Bhagirathi, right? He was like the one who reestablished the flow of Bhakti in this age, but for that flow to be able to rush, like flow everywhere, they needed to cut everything blocking it and make it possible for the pure thing to be given. So most of their energy was given in destroying all these misconceptions and reestablishing the integrity of our line. Yeah.
Do you have that schedule that Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote out for himself? The one that is incredibly inconceivable? I don't have it off the top of my head, but I guess I could search for it. But yeah, if you just read that, then you realize that he's not the jiva.
Yes, he's not a human.
Madhukar, we read that maybe over a year ago or so. You read it. We read those his schedule. It was just like Superman, I mean,
yeah, he had like a very austere diet. Also, I remember, right?
Well, yeah,
I do remember reading that now. I can't remember where it was though.
If anyone has a copy of the book called The 7th Gosvāmī, I think Rupa Vilas, it's in there.
Yes.
Is it in there?
Yeah, is it in there, Prabhu?
It must be in there.
My plan towards the end.
Towards the end of the book. Cool. My plan actually in 2 days from now, we're going to start this Bhaktivinoda Giti Thara program. And my plan during that program is to, at the beginning of every session, we'll read a little something about Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura, like a little something of his glories from one of our acharyas, because there's so much from our acharyas about his glories. And I think that would be a nice way to start every session, is by first glorifying Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura and offering pranam to him. And then, so over the many coming months, we'll be every day reading a little bit of his glories. Yeah. All right, so if nobody has anything else to add, then I think we can end with a little kirtan now. And yeah. Okay, so I'll what should maybe we should sing. There is a song about Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur. Nah, it's getting late. I'm just gonna do Mahamantra. Okay. Actually, let's sing a small song by Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur. Since we've been reading his glories, we can end with a little small kirtan by him. Yeah, let me just find it. Big text, Gaudiya Giti Gucha. Let's do something new. What is it? There's one song, Radha Vallabha Radha Vinod. Vallabha. There it is. Let's do a couple of these small kirtans. Okay.
Prabhu, you mentioned a song about Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur. Who composed that song?
I don't actually know who composed it, but it's very long. That's why I'm not going to do it right now. But I don't know who composed it, but you'll find it in the songbooks from all the different Gaudiya mats. So it's just like an official Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur song that must have been approved by our acharyas because it's in all of their songbooks. But yeah, there's no author name given. But there's also
Didn't Bhakti Rakshak Śrīla Gosvāmī Mahārāja compose one for him?
Bhaktivinoda Viraha something.
Yes,
Dvadashakam, I think. Yeah, and then there's also the Bhaktivinoda Dashakam by Bhakti Deshik Acharya Mahārāja, and yeah, that one's also widely sung. There's a recording of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda singing that one. Yeah, and I wanna go through all those songs nicely, like throughout our program, especially the one by Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Gosvāmī. That last verse is, anyways, that song's really special. Okay. So these are all, there's a section in Gitavali, which has all these short nam kirtans. Jaiva-dharma is just one of them, but it's one among many small kirtans like this. So I thought we could just do a couple of these small kirtans. O Krishna Govinda Hare Gopi Vallabha Shore Krishna Govinda Hare Gopi Vallabha Shore Srinivasa Damodara Shri Rama Murare Srinivasa Damodara Shri Rama Murare Nanda Nandan Madhava Nrisinga Kangsare Oh Nanda Nandan Madhava Nrisinga Kangsare Krishna Govinda Hare Gopi Vallabha Shore O Krishna Govinda Hare Gopi Vallabha Shore O Radha Vallabha Radha Vinod O Radha Madhava Radha Pramod O Radha Vallabha O Radha Vinod Radha Madhava Radha Pramod O Radha Ramana O Radha Nath Radha Varana Moda O Radha Ramana O Radha Nath Radha Varana Moda Radha Madhava Radha Pramod. Oh Radha Rasika Radha Kant Radha Milana Moda. Oh Radha Rasika Oh Radha Kant Oh Radha Milana Moda. Oh Radha Vallabha Oh Radha Vinod. Oh Radha Madhava Radha Pramod. Oh Radha Vallabha Oh Radha Vinod. Oh Radha Madhava Radha Pramod. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Oh Jaya Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur Bhaktivinoda. Jaya Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur Bhaktivinoda. Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Gurudeva Jai Gurudeva. Oh Jai Gurudeva Jai Guru. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki Jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju ki Jai. Jai Nityalala Pravishtam Vishwabhad Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai. Nityalala Pravishtam Vishwabhad Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Vāman Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai. Nityalala Pravishtam Vishwabhad Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Swami Mahārāja Śrīla Prabhupada ki Jai. Nityalala Pravishtam Vishwabhad Śrīla Bhakti Prajñāna Keśava Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishtam Vishnupada Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Saraswati Gosvāmī Prabhupada ki Jai. What did he say? Paramahamsa Kula Chudamani, or Kula Swami, my Parama Gurudev said. Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Saraswati Gosvāmī Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Nityalila Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Śrīla Gaurkishore Das Babaji Mahārāja ki Jai. Bhakti Bhagirathi Saptan Goswami Saccidānanda Nadia Prakash Siddhanta Vani Prakash Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur ki Jai. Jai Śrīla Nityalila Pravishta Śrīla Jagannath Das Vaishnav Sarvabhauma Śrīla Jagannath Das Babaji Mahārāja ki Jai. Śrī Rūpānuga Gaudiya Guru Varga ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishta Śrīla Bhaktivedānta Bharati Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishta Śrīla Bhakti Vallabha Tirtha Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishta Śrīla Bhakti Dait Madhava Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishta Śrīla Bhakti Pramod Puri Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishta Śrīla Bhakti Rakshak Śrīdhara Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki Jai. All the associates of Śrīla Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Gosvāmī Prabhupada ki Jai, and all of the disciples of his associates ki Jai, and the grand disciples, great grand disciples ki Jai. Jai Śrī Rūpānuga Gaudiya Guru Varga ki Jai. Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Das Raghunath, Śrīla Gosvāmī Prabhu ki jai, Shri Sarup Damodar, Rai Ramanandari, Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai, Namachay Śrīla Haridas Ṭhākur ki jai, Prem se Koho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Kshetra Mandala, Gora Mandala, Vraja Mandala, Mathura Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Sarva Abhishta Pradata Giriraj Mahārāja ki jai, Shri Radha Kunda Shama Kunda ki jai, Shri Muna Devi Ganga Devi ki jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai, Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai, Shri Purnamasi Yoga Maya ki jai, Shri Gopeshwar Mahadev ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtana ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Jai, the Dhara of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur ki jai, Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. All the transcendental literatures of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur ki jai. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyaya Keśava Gosvāmī Krishna Bhakti Prada Devi Satyavataya Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams, dear devotees. Wow, there's so many people today. I think this might be the most people we've ever had. Yeah, Dandavat pranams, Sarveshwari Mataji, Rukmini Didi, Ashray Prabhu, Champak Mataji, Archana Didi, Pradyumna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji, Nri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarni Mataji, Manjari Didi, Manjulali Didi, Shubhananda Prabhu, Shruti Gorang Didi, Supatra Didi, Anadi Krishna Prabhu, Kana, whoever that is, Hare Krishna, Gopal Ghanasham Prabhu, that's just here on Zoom, and then on YouTube and Facebook. Raj Bhuvan Yadav ji, Vidyalala Sadidi, Gargraj ji, Amit Dandekar, Vilas Manjari Didi, Hemant Prabhu, Shruti Jalashut Sutram, Emir Gandharva, oh, Shripad Bhaktivedānta Sajjan Maharaj, Dandavat Pranams Maharaj, Vangsiwala Prabhu, Vidyalala Sadidi. Wow, so many comments also. Sorry I haven't been able to read all of them. Rasa Priya Didi, and many other devotees. Dandavat Pranams. Thank you so much for joining, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Well, tomorrow I don't know what we're going to do tomorrow. Tomorrow's the 7th. Tomorrow's the day before we start our program. Anyways, I'm going to start, every day without fail, I always start at 7 a.m. India time. Maybe tomorrow we could read a little something about Gadadhar Pandit. We could read more glories about Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur. And we can just have a little introduction to our program, maybe, I don't know, pre-introduction. And then the day after tomorrow, we'll embark on this journey to go through every single song written by Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur, the meanings, melodies, a little bit about the Bengali, a little on the Bengali grammar, and discussions, and I don't know what but the main point is every day we'll spend some time with these invaluable kirtans of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur. So, and we'll go through all the songbooks. I think this program will probably take a year or longer because there's so many kirtans. But anyways, I'm very excited to start this all with you. And all right, thank you so much for joining. Jai Shri Radhe. Haribol. Jai Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākur ki jai.